What's up everyone? This is gonna be a little bit different of a video. This week is SEMA, the big SEMA car show event, and they always have the big detailing section as well, so I'm heading out tomorrow. So this video is actually just going to be highlighting a vehicle that is going to be at the show. So if you're there, go check this thing out. It's super cool, very, very different than the usual. And then at the end of this, we're gonna be throwing in a little bit of a how-to. So this vehicle that my buddy was working on and I went and helped out with a little bit, the whole back end of it is all aluminum, so we had to polish that out. Now, we weren't going for a mirror finish with this, guys. Typically, you can get a big buffing wheel and go across it. That's the way to get the most shine out of it. And to be perfectly honest with you, I've never done that. I have no experience with that. But what we can do is use some specific aluminum and metal polish on a dual action polisher. In this case, I was using an M8S from Max Shine. And then a variation of pads. So we tried some microfiber type cutting pads, synthetic wool, foam pads, and then also just tried by hand to see what the correct mixture was to get the most out of this. So hang on for that, that'll be at the end of the video, but let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at this awesome car. All right, what's up guys? We are here at 0260's, the automotive photo booth studio here. We have an incredible car V owned by Max here. Just brought it out from Kansas, and Max, if you don't mind, just kind of give us a little rundown on exactly what this is.
Well, this is a 1955 Pontiac that somebody made into a camper in the 60s. We don't know exactly when they did it, but based on the hardware and the wood that's inside of it, it was made with all 2x2 hardwood inner skeleton structure. And but by the look of all the materials, to me it appears to be about mid-60s, even though we don't know for sure. But what it started out with was a station wagon. 1955 Pontiac station wagon. We know because we had the original loan agreement from when the guy bought it. We still have the paper. It's really cool, right? Anyway, so they took and they cut. So you have to imagine a station wagon's got these back doors right here, and then, you know, station wagon all the way back. They cut it past the first doors and just threw that away.
Okay.
So that's gone.
Took it down just to the frame.
Down to the frame, exactly. So what you could do is back then is you could get in like Popular Mechanics or something, you could get plans for how to build your car into a camper. So you could like mail order away for $2 and get plans for a camper, and then just cut up whatever car you happen to have lying around and make it into
incredible.
It's kind of wild, right?
Yeah.
It was really well built, but it had a hard life. Like it was parked. We got it from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
And
a little bit of weather.
Yeah, a little bit of weather. Exactly. Yeah. So I ended up having to pull off about 85% of the aluminum, maybe more. The only thing that didn't get pulled off was the roof and the top back panel. Everything else got pulled off and then replaced all the wood because it was just like bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So reskinned it all with new wood and then put the aluminum all back on it. Quite a bit of the 2x2 structure in the inside was rotten too, about 20%, so we had to replace that too.
That's not even, I would almost assume it'd be more, like that's not too bad.
Hardwood, thank goodness for hardwood.
Right.
Yeah, not just the pine that you buy at Home Depot,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that was kind of the impetus behind that was just getting it, and then you pull off one piece and it's like, oh boy, this is a problem. Yeah. And you pull off another piece, more problems. And but I love it. It's just so weird. It's an unusual car. And when I first saw it, an artist buddy of mine in Detroit had it for sale. Well, he didn't know he had it for sale until I convinced him that I wanted it.
So he had it.
But he had it. Okay, so that's the correct term. Yeah, he had it. And so I talked to him. I was like, well, when you're ready to sell it, let me know, because I just saw it and I just thought, I got to have that thing. It's so weird. Yeah. It's just so unusual. And you see them a lot with like Cadillacs. Okay. For some reason, people did them with Cadillacs, something similar. Sure. You know what I mean? But to see a Pontiac one is, I've only ever seen one other, Wow. So, okay. It's unusual. There's tons of space inside and it's a lot of fun. We just really like it.
Can I ask, so when you pulled off a lot of the aluminum, like all these window panels, all that stuff was...
Oh, everything.
That was where it was though? Or did you add anything else?
No, this was where it was.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so we'd have to pull out the frames and then clean up the frames, polish the frames as best we could because they were quite corroded. Sure. There's something about the cast aluminum frames that tends to corrode a little bit more. I don't know what the science behind that is. So we'd clean them up and then we'd reseal them with butyl tape. So it'd be fresh window with butyl tape seal and then onto it. And then we replaced all the hardware with stainless hardware, which you'll see when it's polished up that these little sparkle like little diamonds, And also the steel ones that were in it from when they built it can corrode the aluminum.
Yeah, that's how I mean, were there drips of rust from
Sometimes,
those? Okay.
sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
And there was one or two spots, and I've replaced some of the aluminum that was really bad. Like all these pieces back here, I just made them, you know.
Got it.
To replace it because they were bad.
Just deteriorated, yeah.
Yeah, so there's something like, there was over 1,000. It was like 1,200 something of these little truss top stainless button heads. I just kept counting because I kept having them buy them in boxes of 100. And I'm thinking in my mind, oh, it'll be a couple hundred.
Yeah.
But they just kept going. I mean, they're everywhere, you know.
Yep.
So replaced all
definitely.
that. We didn't really add anything as far as, you know, the doors and windows that are there. I don't think. I kind of have to think about that for a second. But it was pretty much just taking everything off, replacing it, gutting out the interior, because the interior had a lot of rotten wood, because, you know, once something goes on a trailer, it's like the next place it goes is on the inside.
Absolutely.
So we pulled a lot of that stuff out, replaced a ton of wood. We painted it in like a 1960s kind of camp vibe with oil paint. So it's got that slick, shiny surface in there, and it's like durable, you know?
Definitely.
Because you're going camping, you know?
Yeah.
And so we're going for like the Parent, this shows how old I am, but we're going for the Parent Trap 1961, I think is that movie.
The original, yeah.
The original Parent Trap, yes. So we're going for that vibe where it's like a fun camping experience, retro, clean, minimal. We didn't want it to be too, because I mean, it's already kind of kitschy.
Sure.
And we didn't want to go too far that direction,
Sure.
so we wanted to just keep things clean. There's a few things that are a little campy here and there. But mostly it was just cleaning everything up, restoring it, and then of course we put air ride on it.
I was just going to ask you, like, because it does look slammed. So so you put air ride. Did you do anything to the motor?
No, strangely enough, this car, okay, someone did something to the motor because it's got a Ford motor in it, which is, nobody puts Ford motors in things. They only take Ford motors out and put other things in. Nothing against Ford, but that's like the hot rodding way, is people don't generally keep the Ford motor. But someone must have had an extra motor, and it ended up in this.
Got it, okay.
So it ran and drove, so we just cleaned it up really good and kept it in there. And we'll just keep using it until we can't anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
And then after that, who knows what we'll do. Maybe put a Pontiac motor. Weird idea, but
why would you do that?
Why would you do that? Why would you put a Pontiac in a Pontiac? But
brakes and everything on this thing, because does this, I mean, it's aluminum, but still the wood frame and everything adds a ton of weight to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, you know, it's heavy.
Yeah.
It's just when you have wood.
Yeah.
The aluminum doesn't weigh much anything. I bet if you put all this aluminum on a stack, you might have 150 pounds of aluminum, maybe.
Gotcha, yeah.
It's really light.
Yep.
But the wood adds it down.
Yep.
And pretty much all the walls on this whole thing are all this thick.
Okay.
They're the thickness of 2x2 and then plywood, and then aluminum. So
Gotcha.
you're really only like this thick the whole way around. So.
Gotcha. Is there insulation in between that?
There is. So in between the 2x2s, I stuffed it all with insulation.
Yep.
I pretty much put all new insulation in it because, you know, there was, you know, weird stuff going on. So it's all fresh insulation underneath the aluminum. So it should be nice and toasty in there. And then we redid the seats. The seats actually started out as, I think it was 2000 Subaru. Wow. I don't know if I want to say it out loud. 2000s, nothing against Subaru guys, but just again, what the hell is this doing in a Pontiac,
right?
Right, you know?
Exactly.
So we had Subaru seats put into it, buckets, headrest. I have a deep hate for headrests in classic cars. So yeah. So we reshaped these seats. My upholsterer back in Kansas, I kind of told him the idea of what I wanted. He's amazing, Mike McGee. He's an amazing upholsterer. We chopped the tops off of the seats to make them shorter.
So it's still that Subaru frame?
Yes.
Wow.
And stuffing.
Wow.
And stuffing. The stuffing it's all Subaru, but what we did is, so a Subaru is a bucket, you know, a modern bucket seat.
Yeah.
So it's form fitted, you know, to, you know, as they do, but we added more padding to it to make them less form fitting, more square and boxy and classic looking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
no, that's rad, because I
totally
never would have guessed it when I was
reshaped.
looking at it. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, they're totally reshaped, you know, to have classic look, and then the upholsterer put that in there. And I just wanted to put this hair on hide fur in there.
Yeah.
Again, the camp vibe, rustic, cowboy,
definitely.
outdoorsy. You know, it has fur.
So good.
It's strange to have a fur. It's also strange to have a car that you could poop in if you needed to. That's a little bit weird.
Sure.
But if you had a porta potty, you would poop in here.
Yeah.
I've never had a car where that was like part of the program.
Having that option.
Yeah, to have the poop in option.
Very cool, man. And again, so this thing's going out to SEMA.
Yep.
So we're gonna film this at SEMA as well. Well, do you know where exactly it's gonna be staged?
Artist Alley. I'm going to be selling my art.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
In the Artist Alley, there's several of us artists there, and so we're very fortunate to be able to have our artwork up. And then have the car next to it.
Awesome.
And so that should be a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, I would think this is going to be a pretty big draw.
I hope so.
Like,
I hope so, because we're all about selling that artwork at SEMA. So
Sure.
the more people that are kicking around, the better. But
Yeah, definitely.
If you're at SEMA, come and see us.
Would you have a website and stuff for your art?
Yeah, maxgrundy.com.
maxgrundy.com.
MAXGRUNDY. Easy to find on there. You may have, some of your viewers may have seen my. It's like a kind of propaganda style hot rod art.
Perfect.
It's all kind of classic cars and stuff like that. So.
Very cool. Do you have anything based off this yet?
Yes.
You do? Cool.
I do. So we have a new lapel pin and a new sticker coming out just for
this.
SEMA.
Very cool.
It'll be at the show.
Right on, Len.
We'll set you up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
I appreciate it. I'll see you at the show for
you
sure.
You will see me.
And
Thank
we'll,
you.
Yeah, do some more stuff here.
Awesome.
So again, guys, I'm going to walk around this thing. We'll talk more about it. But again, Max, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so here is the aluminum. I'm actually going to be testing just a small section of it and laying it down into 3 different strips. Strip number 1, just by hand. I'm going to be applying the polish by hand to see what that achieves. Step number 2 is I'm going to be using the M8S from Maxshine with a blue it's a coarser polishing pad along with the polish and hitting it there. And then on the 3rd step, we're going to go with a synthetic wool pad followed by the blue polishing pad, and then just wiping it up to see what kind of results we can get. Again, this thing is all aluminum, but it is kind of a brushed aluminum, meaning even if we had that buffing wheel, I don't know if we'd be able to achieve much better than this. Again, I don't know, I've never done that. If you have aluminum polishing experience, comment down below. Let me know what you think could have been achieved. But again, once it was all cleaned up, that was the real goal that we were going for, is to get a nice, clean, consistent finish. Because it had oxidized, there was lots of staining within it, and we just wanted it all clean and perfect for the show. So here we go, guys. As you can see here, step number 1, just by hand, and it is definitely leveling out the aluminum, right? It definitely looks better, but when you look into it, there's not that much clarity. It's way better than it was. However, it's not removing the big stains. So we're gonna move on to step number 2 now. So step number 2, again, is that foam pad, the blue foam pad. And again, increasing the visibility of that aluminum. It's pulling out the oxidation, giving it a nice, clean, consistent look. But it looks like there might be a little bit more we can do. So step number 3, we move on to that other pad, the microfiber / synthetic wool pad, followed by the foam pad. I make a couple passes with that first pad, take that off, go to the next pad, couple passes with that, and then wipe it up. And this is the result that we were looking for, guys. Again, not perfect mirror finish, but super clean, super consistent look to a nice aluminum finish. This is exactly what the customer was looking for. He was absolutely pumped on the finish that it came out to. So again, this thing is on display at SEMA. If you're at the show, go take a look. If you're not going to the show, I will be there, like I said, tomorrow and the following day after that. And I'm definitely gonna go check this thing out, get some video of it at the show. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed, because again, I'm going to SEMA. We're gonna be highlighting all the new products that I can find there. So make sure you're subscribed, and we will see you on the next one.